There's a lot on this slide, but it's all centered around feedback and what feedback is. So if I speak to you right now and say, what is feedback? I'm sure you're able to give me quite a compelling answer. In terms of theoretically what we're talking about, it's information that enables individuals or groups to compare actual performance with a given standard or expectation. So essentially what that means is we want you to be performing here and being very specific about what here is, and then how you're going about meeting it, and whether you're meeting it or not. And if you're not, how you can go about meeting that goals. You need to offer your perceptions and describe your feelings in a non-judgmental manner, and I've really got to stress that. In giving feedback to anyone, it has to be non-judgmental. And you need to supply the data that others can use to examine and change behaviours. So think of something really easy like you're working and you need sales targets. So you haven't hit your sales target this month. It's meant to be $1,000 and you've only hit it at $700. It's very, very clear data that you need to be selling $300 worth more of clothes, food, etc. to achieve those targets. Big one here is it really assists in goal setting and performance improvement. When you have those feedback sessions, you can sit there and go, okay, this is where you are. How can we move you to that next level? How can we get you to take that next step? And provides direct information about how you're performing and how to direct your future efforts in terms of corrective actions. So if you're sitting in the company at the moment and saying, listen, we want to keep you, you're doing very well, but you're spending too much time focusing on putting together pretty presentations and not enough time on the content that's within them. And so you've got a very clear action of, okay, I need to be doing more on the content side and making sure that you correct that. We also have here is effective feedback and what effective feedback looks like. Things like it's very specific. So it's telling you exactly what the problem is and a solution. When I've got the people working for me and they come to me, I don't want them to come with problems, I want them to come with solutions. So the feedback they're giving is very clear about this is an issue and this is how I intend to solve it. Just like with your presentations. It needs to be non-personal, so it's not you're doing this wrong, you're terrible. It's more, okay, we need the targets are at 1,000 and currently we're only sitting at 700. We're going to need to work on how we can help you get to that 1,000. It needs to be work-related as opposed to personal-related. Documentable, so you're putting it in documents so it can be brought up time and time again when it needs to be. Descriptive, non-prescriptive, timely. So making sure that you're giving them the feedback when they need it rather than 6 months later. So this is why we aim to give you feedback on your essays quite early in semester so you're able to make corrections so you do better on in the unit. Frequent, purposeful, constructive and balanced in the appropriate setting, so not in front of everyone, unless it's a bit of positive feedback. But if it's going to be some negative feedback, making sure that you're in a room with them, having a chat with them and just letting them know rather than letting them know in front of everyone else, and making sure it's interactive so they have a chance to speak back as well. So I've talked about what effective feedback was in the last slide. I want you to practice giving me feedback now about how your scrums are going and how the unit's going. Think about what you're going to say and how you're going to structure your message. That's completely up to you, but think about all the things we talked about in effective feedback. Being very specific. So if there's things that you like, what things that you like? If there's things that you don't like, what things do you don't like? So whether it's a particular activity, whether it's particular timing, whatever it is, and how we can go about fixing that. So the more specific you are on how we can go about fixing it, chances are we're going to actually implement that. So to be able to give that feedback, there's a little box in the next slide if you want to give it there. If not, you can go on the anonymous feedback form as well. Looking forward to reading them.